Good afternoon, baseball fans. You're tuning in to another edition of Wings Weekly. I'm Kevin, that's the coach. We're set to bring you this new series against the Fort Worth Cats. We have a 6-game homestand here against Fort Worth. And, Coach, the season is already getting towards the end, and we still have an 8-game lead. We'll get into our previous road trip, but right now the Cats aren't as hot coming into this one as they did on their last trip down here.
No, they're not. Brownsville definitely took a chunk out of them.
Tonight's their starter is Jack McGeary. He's 2-0 on the year with a 2.53 ERA. It's a 6-game series, Coach. It's going to be twice as much as we played them last time, so the chances of us sweeping them are highly unlikely, but in my mindset, I'm saying if we can take 4 of 6 from this team, I think we'd really be set for the rest of the year.
Which is that 2 out of 3 that I keep saying that we take. We take 2 out of every 3. We're in great shape.
Right now, the Wings, talk about that road trip that we just came back on. The Wings, get this, folks, this is the first series all year that the White Wings lose. They had won every single series since the opening day series back on May 20th against the Fort Worth Cats. That was a 4-game series, and the Wings split that one 2 games apiece. So that alone, we were talking about it earlier, that's phenomenal.
Yes, it is. It's unheard of in baseball.
Yeah, because you're going to lose one, you're going to tie a few, but to win every single series since the beginning of the season, and we're already almost towards the end of the season, for those guys to put together and do that. And then another thing the guys were saying was we had a bad week. We went 2-3 up in San Angelo. We still have an 8-game lead.
Yeah, but this is going to be a markedly important series because it can go one way or the other if they don't split.
Yeah. And one thing I want to talk about really quick, when we played the Colts, that series up there, I told Coach earlier in the week, it was just polar opposites. The offense was hitting, the pitching was the problem. The starting pitching wasn't up to par. The bullpen had its hiccups, which is going to happen. But I think I told someone else, we scored 7 runs in about 2 of the games. You score 2 runs here, 85% of the time, 90% of the time, that's a win.
Yes, yeah. It's just... the offense is starting to come around, and that's a good thing. Now we got to get back into pitching.
Yeah, and the White Wings return to home where they've dominated teams throughout the year. Jeremy Hall is your Game 1 starter. He is 3-3 on the year with a 5.05 ERA. His last outing back up at Foster Field wasn't the best start for the right-handed hurler. 4 2/3, 9 earned runs on 11 hits. It all happened in that one big inning where they were able to score 8 runs.
That's been his problem almost all year. One inning where they'll explode on him.
And that's what the Colts did. They really put it to the White Wings. They hit 2 grand slams in that series. In Game 6, Justin Reed's grand slam really opened up the floodgates for Doc Edwards' club. And I want to talk about the standings real quick, Coach. 37-16, the Wings are atop the United League. Fort Worth is at 29-24. This is where it gets interesting. San Angelo is 21 and 30 on the year. So if we can take 4 of 6 and San Angelo take 4 of 6 or maybe even 5 of 6, that's a little bit of a long stretch against Brownsville. The Colts are right back in it.
Yeah, they will have caught up to Fort Worth, and that could change the whole playoff picture.
Definitely. So there's still plenty of baseball to be played, but right now all the Colts fans back in San Angelo are rooting for the White Wings because all of a sudden the Colts are back in the playoff picture, and it really started with the series against us back up in San Angelo.
Yeah, it helped them catch up a little bit more. They're still quite a ways back of us, but they're really hoping now that we'll sweep Fort Worth, and then they'll switch.
Yeah. So if anything, split the if we can even split this series with Fort Worth and San Angelo, like I said, take 4 of 6, which is very possible against the Charros, who have, again, they're still looking for answers out there in Brownsville. But for the Colts, we're seeing a new jolted team offensively. Justin Reed, Tyler Kuhnauer just got released from the club due to personal leave. But that team has really come together. Michael Broad batting 9th. And KJ McAllister batting leadoff for them. I think they have something going there just to make a close enough push towards the end of the season.
Sometimes that's all you need. It's that final push to push you over the edge.
So just for the Colts to be relevant at this time of year, I think is a success for them. So again, the White Wings coming into this one 37-16 on the year, and the Cats are 29-24. The Cats are 4-6 in their last 10, and the Wings are 6-4 in their last 10. So again, this one not as big a series as it was before because it was just 3 games, and the Cats were coming in hot as a pistol. This time, not so much. Both sides have cooled off, and I think it's just a matter of who's going to get the big hit.
But I think the pressure is going to be more on Fort Worth because here comes San Angelo.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, the Cats, they're going to have to do some makeup work. You know, they're going to come in hungry, twice as hungry because the last time they came in guns blazing, the White Wings sent them on their way with a 3-game sweep. So once again, tonight your starter is Jack McGeary. He's going up against Jeremy Hall here in Game 1 of the 6-game series versus the Fort Worth Cats. Be sure to tune in to myself and the coach.
Don't forget, we're going to be seeing a different team because of new manager.
That is right. Mike Marshall is no longer the manager for the Fort Worth Cats. Barrett Weaver has taken over the managerial duties, and Herman Duran will be the assistant coach now for Fort Worth. So we'll touch on that real quick. We saw Wes Alsop. The first night he took over the Charros, we saw a more aggressive team on the base paths. We saw a more aggressive approach on the plate, and the guys are playing much relaxed. So we'll see what changes defensively, shifts. We know we saw that a lot with Ozzie and a lot with Marshall. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. So again, like we said, tonight's Game 1, 7:05 is the first pitch. Be sure to tune in at 6:50 for the Come Home to Harlingen pregame show presented by the Harlingen EDC, along with the postgame show. So I'm Kevin, that's the coach, White Wings Baseball. Brand new series here against the Fort Worth Cats, and we're getting set for a 7:05 start. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check us out on the social media sites at Valley White Wing on Twitter. You can like us on Facebook at Rio Grande Valley White Wings, and also check us out on the Instagram page as well at RGV White Wings. So be sure to tune in 6:50, the pregame show, along with the live broadcast at 7:05. We'll see you then, and go Wings!